Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kyla Cares virtual link up. I'm Kyle Banks, the founder of Kyla Cares, here with my lovely co host, Irielle Banks. Hello, Irielle.
Yes.
How's
Hi,
it going?
glad to be here.
Oh my God,
It's
I'm
been
so
a
glad to
week, but
be.
I'm thankful to be on. Yes.
Look, so glad to be here with you as well. I'm so excited about today, but I'm I'm excited about every day. Just to be breathing is a beautiful thing. I mean, you start there and then you can work the rest out, right, Aria?
Yes. It's so many people are going through so much. So just giving this resource to everyone is amazing and glad to be a part.
Yeah, I mean, but you're always doing amazing things. The link up follows your support group, which you host at Oshner. And you've been hosting it for the last 10 years, which is so amazing. I mean, your dedication to just your patience and all the people that you're serving and working with is pretty amazing. How was the group today?
The group was awesome. I did have people come in person. We had about 2021 total. And it was
Nice.
on, right? It was great.
Yep.
We had two speakers live, so it was awesome on foot care and also on intuitive eating. So it was great topics. It was a shift, but it was a great shift for people to have wealth of knowledge about podiatry and, finding the right podiatrist and then just looking at your way of looking at eating differently. So
Nice. I love the group is growing. I mean, that's a lot of people that
it
came out in
is.
person.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was happy to see them because it's festival season here in NOLA. So
And what festival's going on now?
the French Quarter Festival started today.
Oh, it's a festive time in the
Yes,
Crescent.
and we get
Well,
good weather.
yes. I mean, the good. I'm here in New York right now, so I'm so sick of the cold, Ariel. I'm just like, come on, stop. You can do it. You can do
I know
it.
it'll come.
Ariel, we have folk tuned in from all across the country, so please, like, let us know where you're tuning in from. You can drop it, drop a message in the chat, say hi. This is an interactive situation. So, and by the way, we're streaming on all of the platforms. Facebook, Insta. I don't think we message yet. We might yet. I don't know. The amazing Janelle is running everything on our end. So thank you, Janelle.
Yeah, you're going in and out, but I know you were saying say where you are in the chat, the location.
Yes, yes. Say where you
And you're
are,
in New
please.
York.
Drop.
I'm in New Orleans, so I know the internet and everything connecting could be a little tough. Yeah.
The Wi-Fi situation is not cute. Can you hear me now, Ariel?
Yes, perfect.
We got to get this together.
It's
well,
okay.
well, Ariel, I mean, congratulations is in order because I know that you are Kyla Care's number one and most favorite nurse practitioner, but Oshner Hospital, which is the largest healthcare system in Louisiana, just awarded Ariel Nurse Practitioner of the Year.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. It's a great honor. The ceremony is actually next Tuesday, so um, I'm elated and blessed. It's just it makes
Nice.
work is not work. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're so deserving, and I hope the honor comes with a cute check or a little bonus.
we shall see, right?
Would that be
Stay
sweet?
tuned.
Well, today we have a great show today. I'm very excited. Today's guest that will be joining us is a dear friend of mine, and um, just really cool and amazing person. Uh, he is a native of New Orleans, a model, an actor, a type 1 diabetes advocate, and recent graduate from nursing school. Also someone living with type 1 diabetes since he was 3 months, which is great. Um, and so I'm so excited to have him here, Derek Alexander. Welcome.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Yay.
How's it going, Derek?
It's going well, just day-to-day living with diabetes,
Day to day living. It doesn't stop.
and it won't stop.
It, exactly. Now, Derek, you were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 3 months old.
Yeah, 3.5 months. Yes.
3.5 months. I know at the time you were the youngest child at Children's Hospital New Orleans to be diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I don't know if you still hold that honor or not.
Um, I do not. I believe, as far as being a heavyweight champ, no, I do not. As far as, especially in today's time, it's like everyone's getting diagnosed at pretty much coming straight into the world with it, and also from being a like for being such like a young age to now like adults being diagnosed with type 1, it's anyone's game at this point as far as like acquiring and being diagnosed.
Yeah, I mean, so many people that I know personally have been diagnosed with type 1, even since I was diagnosed 8 years ago. You know, I'm older
Hmm.
than you in real life, but I'm a baby compared
No, right.
to you. So Derek, tell me. Well, first of all, I want to share the connection here. Um, Ariel is is and also Derek. So we are both like so fortunate to be as close as we are to a person that's not diagnosed with type 1. No, you can't hear me.
No.
Hello, am I back? Hello, hello, hello. I don't know what's going on with this Wi-Fi. I'm at a hotel in New York City, Marriott is live.
We still can't hear you, Cal, but I know you were saying that I'm your healthcare provider for diabetes management and Derek's. And I've
Yes.
had a pleasure of crossing paths because with Kyle, it was probably around 2018, 19. I started seeing you. And then Derek, I think it was probably around 2019 when I got the primary care from endocrine. So it's been a journey.
Yeah.
That it has.
So Derek, I have a few questions for you. Like,
Okay.
you were diagnosed at 3.5 months old. How has living with type 1 diabetes basically your entire life shaped your outlook on healthcare, especially now since you're a newly nurse?
Can you repeat that one more time?
How has living with type 1 diabetes for since you were 3.5 months old, shaped your outlook on healthcare, especially with you being a newly minted nurse?
I would honestly say like, okay, so um for how I'm seeing it now is that each decade that each milestone decade that you acquire or go through in life, things change, things shift. So from 10 years, like, from being from being born to 10 years old is one chapter, well, one milestone. And then from 10 to 20, like those adolescent years, it's a whole nother mix because you're dealing with puberty and just trying to find your footing in life as a person, like, just living with yourself in life, and you have diabetes catapulted into it as well, and then going from 20 and 20s, 30, like, those different decades, diabetes shifts and changes as well with you. So not only are you learning about yourself as a person, you're learning about yourself with diabetes. So it's like you really are married to the game of diabetes. um, I felt like for myself, it was more so. my adolescent years would, because I mean, to be transparent and frank with and frank about it, is that my adolescent years were my burnout years, because those
Mm,
were the years where I just did not I just didn't want to be diabetic. Like I just didn't want to be. And when you don't want to be diabetic, you don't want to care for it. Like you want to break up, but it's like you can't necessarily do that. But it's okay to have those feelings. But I think what it was for me, like looking back at it now, to like from here to now, looking back, I think more so being real personable, transparent, and honest with my endocrinologist. And don't get me wrong, like during my adolescent years, I did have an endocrinologist that was really good. It's just that it was just that trust aspect to be really like vulnerable and comfortable, and to also not just have your endocrinologist, but also just to have that go-to person as well, whether it be like your best friend or regular friend or your parent, like just to have that other person who isn't diabetic, just to have that confidant, you know what I'm saying? Really having that type of person to just be, because without it, you feel like you're by yourself. And I want to say, just to like circle back to like, from being born to 10 years old, I didn't really like, we didn't have social media as like a child. And the only thing I had was going to camp. And that was like the 1 week out of a whole year where me and my other like diabetic colleagues, friends, or
mm,
whatever got to feel, well, we were able to feel normal. You know
mhm.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it was like, now we have our live kind of care show to be able like to connect with other diabetics across the whole world, which is very, very impactful in my opinion. So you
yeah,
don't.
yeah. Nice. I mean, so how did you find out about camp?
Uh, a nurse, the nurse I had from like when I was born and diagnosed to, I wanted to say up until like after Katrina. So about like when I was like 11, 12 ish, 13.
Yeah.
She heard about it and told my mom about it, and we just applied. And thankfully, like during that time, the camp was sponsored by the Louisiana Lions Club. So
Mhm.
that was a way where we was able to like hear about it, and got accepted, and I have attended. Now I will say, like before the storm, they were providing like transportation. After the storm, things got shaky for the city of New Orleans, so it was like kind of like challenging. But if you was able to get yourself there, then you attended. So
Yeah. Yeah. Now, we're working with a lot of like kids that are at that age, camp age. And I'm curious, were there other people that looked like you? What was that experience?
where I can't hear you, Kyle. Say it again.
Were there other people that looked like you at camp, or what was that experience like for you?
So I want to say, as I was getting older, I would see more of me. Like when I first started, and then also it was weird in a way. And I say weird because it's like you never know what you're going to get when hold on y'all.
Hey, Ariel. We lost
Hi,
Derek.
yeah. But that is a good question that you had about, do you see others that look like him? That camp I had volunteered twice. So
Yeah,
it was very interesting how in kids they all look different. Type one looks
yeah.
different. Like you'll think they all be thin and but they were different shapes. They had quite a few minorities there, maybe about
Mhm.
10%. You know,
Yeah.
it was interesting. I worked with both sides of it, the younger one and then the older ones. Yeah.
Derek, you're
Have-
back.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, like the connection was
Welcome.
starting to get interfered on my end. And I'm back. um
I
so
think
can
we
y'all
all
hear me
having
clearly?
Wi-Fi problems today.
Okay, cool. All right. So I wanna say counselor, and okay, so camper wise, I just knew I had one camp friend that I knew I was going to see. So uh, he wasn't black, but he was still, he was cool. Like we're young, we're
Mhm.
kids. Like so, that
Right.
was always a constant. Now I would see like in my specific patrol, there will be years where I would have maybe like one or two other like camp buddies that were melanated of some sort. um and then there were years where I would be the only one, but I would just like
Mhm.
not letting myself be phased by that because I was just like, look, I'm here for the experience. Like this is my bug juice moment, so
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy this. And you had your moments where there were like some transgressions, but like it was handled in a way that when it was like reported this and other. Because I mean, you gotta be realistic. Like it's in the rural part of Louisiana, so you had people who just never dealt. They had a reality check. Like, okay, we are all here in attendance. All right,
Yeah. We are
so,
all
yeah.
here. And there's room for all of us.
And that was like honestly like camp was a bubble in a way where it was just like you cut off from the outside world because you didn't have from the time where cell phones were a thing to a time where it was integrated where you still didn't have a phone like or TV, like we had each other. And it was grand, it was fun. And it was an experience. As I was getting older, that's when I started seeing more, like more of like us being integrated. And I think it was just like one of those things where families being comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I guess like once they started hearing and learning more about, okay, so they're not doing no crazy weird things over there. Like I could trust that my child is gonna be safe because your child is safe and made it through. Da da da. So it's all good. Because I mean, I had external family members and just people like uh in my mom's ear about like you let him out there by himself overnight, like you gonna do
Yes.
that? I'm so
Yeah.
glad that my mom didn't listen to that because it would have been such like an experience that I would have missed out on. Because the main takeaway from the camp was that it helped build me into being like a better type 1 diabetic, as far as like learning how to do certain interventions for myself, from uh, drawing insulin, counting carbs. Then as I progress on my diabetes, as far as like my diabetes management with certain devices and stuff, from like insulin pump therapy and mainly insulin pump therapy, because I didn't get the Dexcom until like recently in the last few years. But just learning how to like insert the insulin pump myself and knowing what to do and how to like I pretty much went back home teaching my mom like, look, this is how we're doing it now. So
Oh,
it was a beautiful experience.
oh, I love that. One thing that stuck out for me, what you just said, is that even though you may have been the only like melanated person in the room at
Hmm.
some points during the camping experience throughout the years, still walked in with like this boldness of like I'm here. Why that
Hmm.
sticks out to me is because I mean that's sort of like what drew me to you the first day we met. I still remember that. It was very profound for me because Derek was in a fashion show in New Orleans. I don't even remember why I was there, but saw Derek and this like beautiful black man walking the runway, and I saw his pump, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Is that a pump?" And I was newly diagnosed at the time, and really struggling. I was not like in a good headspace about everything. I was still trying to figure out how to take care of myself, and here you come walking down the runway, and it was just like I was like, I have to meet him. And so I snuck backstage and found you. And we've been like bosom buddies ever since. So
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it seems like that's how you've always approached life, with like this bold um, approach, just like amazing self confidence. Like how, like what would you say was like the tools that really helped you build that for yourself?
um, I got honestly like as far as like the tools would be you will have to really oh, a baby is born. um so you would have to say like
Is that the music that plays when a baby's born?
yeah, so like you know how people ring the bell when they're like out like like are clear. They'll
Yes.
play the lullaby, like the parents to play the lullaby for when the baby
Oh,
is born. So yeah.
oh. Well, well, clearly you're at work right now.
Yes.
The baby
So
wasn't born in that beautiful apartment you're sitting
yes.
in.
So I guess like okay, so for myself, not necessarily. I mean, partially you do like you gotta fake it till you make it. You have to keep on telling yourself, even if things are not okay and things are not how you want it to be, you have to really like you have to just tell yourself like, look, it is okay. And even when it's not okay, you psych yourself to make it be that until it becomes that. Because you can't just wallow and dwell on the negative or you know I'm not I don't give myself a pity party. I give myself a moment to where I'm just like just to acknowledge the reality like you know what, things are not okay right now, things are not fun, and you just run through it. Like you just or if not run you walk. Like you just keep moving forward and taking a step. And it's okay to like take a moment to sit or take a moment to just breathe because we're all still like that's
Uh-oh.
take a beat until like you realize okay, I had enough in this moment, now I have to just keep persevering and march on through this. uh I mainly find like one of like my things of like at least for like modeling and or not even just modeling, like just being like involved in the things that I involve myself in is to be a face, an image, a voice for other like diabetics. Like for one of my images I had uploaded to my Instagram, like I had like a parent like come commenting on it saying like, she was like so thrilled, was enthralled to like see me uh on the ground because she had showed her son who also like he was a teenager like like look like he's out living life and he has his insulin pump site like you could see it, and that was like such a rewarding moment because it was like that's one of the things we wanted to do is just to like show like you could still be a type 1 diabetic and still do things because there was a moment in time where I felt like I couldn't do a lot because I'm just like, okay, I'm diabetic. Like, how am I gonna do this? And it's just like you just do it until it doesn't make sense, and if it still doesn't make sense, you make it a way to make sense. So that way you can still like enjoy life because
Yeah.
so many people think that like because you have type 1 diabetes that you can't do a lot of things, like you're handicapped and that you know this is going to hinder you. And
Hmm.
honestly, it's not that. It's more so you do it, and like I said before, like you do it until you can't, and then when you can't, you find a loophole or a way around it to make it work for you.
Right. And that could look like support, finding you know,
Hmm.
making connections with other people that are living with it as well. Not to have a pity party, but to have that common understanding of like what you're both going through and being able to bounce ideas and resources off of. That's amazing, Derek. I love that.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like we don't even have to really say like a party of pity. Let's just have a party of being real.
Yes. Yeah.
Real problems.
Well, I mean, Derek, I know you have done some amazing things, and I mean, the most one of the most recent things is you were part of Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl. Like, what was that experience like?
That was very much so like a bucket list experience that didn't even know that was on the list of the
Wow. Wow.
bucket.
Well, I think we got some video, so let's check it out. I think we lost the audio on that, but
Wow.
that was amazing, Derek.
so, so how I found out about that opportunity was a friend of a friend that works in the industry had like put out a word like, hey, like they looking for people to be a part of the show, and I was like, okay, I'm like, that's cool. And I'm like, I'm interested. Mind you, I had only like less than like an hour and a half to submit like the application and do like a little 30-second video of just interacting
Yes.
with a Kendrick Lamar song, and I submitted it, and clearly they enjoyed it and they liked it because I got an email back saying like I was selected, and I was
Uh,
like ecstatic. It was like congratulations, like you've been like selected, and I was like, oh my, like wow, like okay, like I'm gonna like partake. So we went through 2 weeks of rehearsals. The first week was at like a stadium in City Park, Tad Gormy,
hmm.
and that was just like getting a feel for just like being on like a mock field, and how we're gonna enter and exit. And they had which if you've seen from the performance how they had like the light up, like the field was like lit up, those
Uh-huh.
were like tubes, like they had little lit up tubes that certain people had to place on the field as well. um,
Uh-huh.
I didn't get involved in that until like, I mean, I was like a tubes alternate towards the end. And So we pretty much did that for like the first week, and then like the second week is when we went to the Superdome, and that's when we like rehearsed with Kendrick and SZA, and then like on our last day of rehearsal, we ended up seeing Serena Williams as well, and
Yeah.
that was it was a time. Uh, Cause like just like being part of the experience and seeing Kendrick and all the other dancers as well, like just perform, and seeing SZA as well, like performing, and it was unreal. It was like unrealistic, like how to be able to experience that. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and it was a time. And then I also there was another type of diabetic as well that was part of the experience as well.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yes, yes. She had a tandem pump, and I didn't know until like I saw her like tubing, and I was like, "Oh, well, like you're a type 1 diabetic," and she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, I got an Omnipod." She was like, "Oh, I have this tandem pump," so it was cool. It was fun.
Wow. Wow. Now that's what's up. So yeah, we were well represented.
Yes, when you don't know and then you don't see, you still have something like how my pump, my Omnipod is going off right now.
Mine
There's
too.
some indicator.
Mine too is like drink some juice. Like something. What is going on? like, thank God we on with Ariel.
Right?
We're in good, always in good hands when you're around, Ariel.
Oh, you're so
Honestly and
sweet.
truly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, y'all have my phone number, so you reach out and touch.
Well, I mean, Derek, I mean, we're both Ariel's. I mean, we're more. I feel like we're more than patients, but we're both. Ariel is like our caretaker and our clinician. And I said before you came on that she was just nominated, well, not nominated. She just received. Oh, no, you can't hear me again. Oh no. Hello, hello.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you jump in.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a pleasure in seeing how some people with technology, I guess, Derek, I know you were on the tandem and then you went to Omnipod and changes with technology over the years for you. I mean, for you to be 3.5 months to now I'm not going to say your age, you look young. Um, you're a youngster, so I'm going to leave it at that. But you know what I'm saying? 20 plus years of dealing with this and seeing the progression, even in the past 10 years, I know it has to be amazing for you for better
Hmm.
quality of life. So I guess finishing off, like letting you talk on that, I'd love to hear what you have to say on that.
So one thing I want to mention is I'm very happy and gracious of the medical advancements in technology as far as like let's just mention like the CGM and how that's improved over let's just say even the last 5 years. I have a Dexcom. I'm still with the G6. I'm looking forward to looking into the G7, but also I'm hearing a buzz about there's now a CGM that lasts for a year now. The Everest,
Mhm.
Everest, what is it?
Ever
Ever
since,
since,
yeah.
Everest.
ever
Okay,
since,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh my,
So, mhm.
oh my God. This. I
So,
mean, so much has happened in the world of diabetes management, and the technology is advancing so fast. I remember when I was first diagnosed. This is before I began seeing Ariel. Clinicians kept telling me, "Oh, this is a great time to be diagnosed," and I would get so mad every time I say that. But what they were implying was the technology is really advancing, and it's becoming so good and it's able to just better support us so that we can just live our lives. And Ariel, do you have any patients that are on Eversense, using
so
Eversense?
yeah, so it was very interesting. So I know we got to go to our next segment, but the Ever Since was out actually probably the past 8 years.
Really?
I would say at least since 2016, 17. The drawback was it was every 3 months for implantation. So we were like, we don't
No.
see, like, what is this? And then it went to 6 months. And
Okay.
then it progressed to a year. And so I have a patient who was on it with 6 months, and then now she's crossed over to do the year one. And I have another one that's about to get it. It's just
Uh,
the company doesn't know when they're going to be able to integrate with other pumps, though. So that's the
yeah.
only. But I
Yeah.
know we're supposed to get into the segment about
Well, you know,
myths, I guess.
well, you know, well, we didn't tell the people what Eversense were. So Eversense is an implantable CGM that is implanted right beneath the skin and can be performed in the doctor's office, right, Ariel?
So yeah, ever since I didn't hear your last part, but ever
You can.
since is you could change you could move your transmitter whenever you want to. And so people
Mm,
put a new transmitter each day, but they have to wear like a black piece on top. So that's the
uh-huh.
part that people may not like. Um because it's visible like that and so it's black. They don't have any other colors yet.
Hmm.
Um And now, like, they were not liking when you had to calibrate daily. Now it's once a week. So that's a game changer. And I do see the accuracy is even better than Dexcom.
Wow.
Um, that's just like the data that I'm looking at, and then my patient's experience who used to be on Dexcom, that's what she's seeing as well.
Uh,
So it's pretty cool, but like I said, it's been out for a while. It's just more publicity and more articles that you're seeing on social media and LinkedIn about it. So I think it's a game changer because adhesive issues are happening with CGM. So
yeah.
Mhm.
Does it hurt? Like, or can you feel it after it's implanted?
no, my patient said it was so quick. It's like less than a 15-minute type of procedure, and the
Really?
company has their own person.
Okay.
Endocrinology offices could get certified. Those endocrinologists could be certified, but you have to have a general surgeon or a dermatologist or MD that feels comfortable in doing it. But the company
Gotcha.
itself has a person that does it.
Gotcha. And what's the procedure like?
The procedure is basically they're gonna have like that sterilization process, like prepping for like a procedure in OR. And basically, they have like a little device that just inserts something so minute, like in that picture, and they just watch to make sure the person vitals and everything are fine. But it's really quick and simple. Like I said, I only have one patient that actually has it right now. At
Gotcha.
one point, they were saying FDA was just age 18 and above.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if it changed the guidelines yet to pediatrics.
Gotcha. Have you suggested to any of your patients to try it or
Yeah, I have the brochures in my exam rooms. Some of my patients who are just having burning happening with adhesive issues, they switched from Libre to Dexcom and it's still problematic. They fall off. They tried all these different things. I say, hey, you might want to consider this. People's constipation could be based on that as well.
uh-huh.
I had a patient, like, he's just, even the accuracy sometimes could be frustrating with some of the CGMs right now.
Hmm.
Um, and then with Eversense, it doesn't alarm, it vibrates. So some people want to be more discreet, you
So
know. It's
so the
kind of like,
sense of
okay, and everybody,
So
your
we're not
mama
gonna
gonna
hear
hear
that
whoa, whoa,
that
whoa, you know.
sound like an EMS walking down the street.
Right.
oh
So
my God.
that's a plus. That's a positive, right? You be discreet with
No,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
because
Yes.
then you have the Omnipod and then you got the Dexcom and it's just bam, 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 and you just like, I always think about this and it's like, it's definitely an internalized thought that goes out loud. It's like, just imagine like a scary movie and having a diabetic be a character, and I'm like, Lord, we are gonna be the first ones to
Uh,
die. The
Stop.
killer is
You were
going
so
to
funny.
get us.
Stop.
they are
What a
going.
kill.
This is like maybe 2 years ago. I went and saw a Broadway show and Sunset Boulevard, and Nicole Scherzinger from Pussycat Dolls is the star of the show. And I mean, the show is like very quiet and dark, and so there's a lot of like quiet time where
Hmm.
talking or singing a tune. My Omnipod canceled in the middle of Nicole's song, and I swear to God, I saw her before that. Turn that thing
Wow.
off. I
I
was
get
so,
canceled in the middle. Like it just said expired now. Like,
yeah. It said I'm done.
you know that noise. Like when Omnipod, like it happened this morning, like out of nowhere. I was just like, Jesus, like it's still dark. And it just, like, yeah.
Yeah, so I had a whole theater. There's probably maybe 1,500 people in that theater just over me. But look, that's life with diabetes.
It is. It really
So
is.
we have to be able to like brush ourselves off and be like, I'm sorry, and
And
and,
pivot.
and pivot. The show
That's
must go on.
that's the
Nicole
phrase that pays.
Nicole finished her song and she got a standing ovation.
That's beautiful.
So would you try the Eversense, Derek?
You know, at first I was just like, I don't know, but I think I'm leaning more now into the era of like trying things now.
Yeah.
Like I'm now like I'm more open now to like try things just to show people, especially melanated people, like, hey, I'm doing it. Cause I mean, we definitely have to like look at things with a raised eyebrow, and that's just the way how things, especially with healthcare, we have to. It's not our fault due to history, but I'm like, okay, I'm looking more now to like see like, okay, I'll try it out just to go and report back. Okay, y'all, this is how I experienced it, just to let y'all know what it is and what it ain't and what to
Right.
expect. And that way, just to debunk the myths and the fears amongst
Yeah.
like medical advancements in diabetes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, same here. I mean, even with the history of like clinical trials, when I got that
Mhm.
diagnosis, I was like, sign me up. What are we doing? Let's figure this out.
Yeah,
So
That's awesome.
I'm about like the experimentation of it all to just be able to take better care of myself.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things I think that will help with that is just the fact that so many celebrities are being impacted by type 1 diabetes as well.
Yes.
And just recently we've had like Usher's son who was diagnosed. Most recently, John Legend, Chrissy Teigen's son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Can you hear me again?
Yeah, drifted out a little bit.
You were
Oh,
in and out, but that's okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Um,
and most recently, John Legend and Chrissy Teigen's son was diagnosed with type 1
Uh-huh.
diabetes. And although, I mean, it's awful, I would never wish this diagnosis on anyone, but it's just the way things are. The onset of this disease, the prevalence of this disease is increasing. So the likelihood of like one of the people that we
yeah,
love
because
or
with
look
the
up to and
article,
admire.
yeah, I see. Yeah,
What you say, Ariel?
with the article, it is tough. Yeah, like for the journey, like it's like it was very candid, and I like that. And he was 6 years old last summer being diagnosed. I have one of my type ones recently. Um, was in tears just about through her portal to me because her daughter just recently was diagnosed at age 9. So, it's happening more and more within our community. And,
Mhm.
as, looking at like how people may feel like a family member who's dealing with it and then to have their own child, that
Yeah,
on that end. And then for John Legend and Chrissy not knowing probably about it at all. And this
Mhm.
is just a new journey to embrace.
right,
Can
right.
be scary for parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can just
think about
understand that.
how many parents or people are opposed to like the devices, and they see now that John Legend and Chrissy's son is immediately went on the Dexcom, and that that has influence. Uh, we love our artists, we love our actors, and we look up to them, our athletes. So their voices have power and can shift people to action. So it'll be interesting to see how the fact that they're being so vocal about it,
Mhm.
can people just acceptance of wanting to tap into the devices that are available for them.
I agree.
Yeah, like I could say that, like when my mom was going through it, I think what people don't realize is that it's not the fact of like feeling like you didn't do something right. It's more so now that you have arrived at the point of having a child with this health condition, having that anxiety of keeping your child alive. I think that's what people have to really understand as for like a parent's point of view, and just hovering because you can't help yourself with being like a helicopter parent. So it's just, I think it's thing for Chrissy Teigen and every other parent of like a type 1 diabetic to just be vocal and transparent about like, okay, this is what our life is like now on a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis of what are we doing, how we're going about it. Okay, back because like my mom, she used to be involved like in the like children's hospital, like back to school sessions when it came to like that's another prominent thing as far as like type 1 diabetes in education, like going to school and trying to learn, but also dealing with highs, lows, uh, having a thing set up with the cafeteria workers of like if your child is having like a school lunch, if they're eating that, if they're not bringing that lunch with them, and then like for me when I was in school, like I would always have a snack bag in my school bag. Always, like I will always have that because it's just like like you drop in the middle of like a class and it's like you need something to eat like right then and there, and that's all you
Yeah.
need.
Now,
So
Derek, were you sneaking in that bag even when you weren't low?
no, I wasn't. Okay, so I okay, so this was like one of the moments. Like it's like it's a full circle moment where I used to be embarrassed to like where like the class would cut up. The class would cut up, and the teacher would be like, "All right, no snack for nobody." But then it's like, "But Derek is," and I'm like,
Oh no.
"So you putting the light on me, and I'm just
Yes. I mean,
sitting
look,
here
you
eating
love
my
the spot.
snack." Because this it doesn't stop for me, and it's like I'm in the middle of the classroom just eating my snack, and I'm just like it's embarrassing because it's like you could just
Yeah.
feel the eyes, and then why like or because that was elementary, so then because like it got to a point where I think maybe like fourth grade, like they wouldn't do snacks anymore. Which I mean, when thinking hindsight, like that's such a bad thing. Like I feel like no matter what year or grade, like every year, like you should incorporate like some type of snack for kids. So like kids, adolescents, whatever, everybody should be eating no matter what because you need that fuel for your brain. So, but anywho, um, uh fast forward to like high school, I had like one of my classmates that like we went from elementary to middle to high school, and she expressed to me, she was like, I used to just be so envious of you while you just get to eat your snack and we could not eat our snacks. And I was just like, well, what I was thinking did come true. So I was not trying to eat anything when it wasn't like warranted because
Yeah.
I didn't want that like spotlight on me, even though it
Yeah.
was on me like certain times and like spaces. So yeah, I wish I would have just went to a different room.
That,
Just to get that
that
unwarranted.
that that is hilarious. I mean, I asked
It,
because I know it's difficult for children to control themselves, and it's difficult for me as an adult to control myself. I find myself going and sneaking all of my, well, not sneaking, but snacking on my low snacks when I'm not low, and it's a habit I need to break out of.
that discipline is such a feat. It
No
is.
judgment. I mean,
I
You
mean,
talking?
honestly, like in this day and age, like, okay, so when we had went to that Friends for Life conference, like I was at a table with like some like real like young like T1D babies, and they were like plotting on. They were like, "Oh my gosh, this could be my little snack. I'm looking forward to it." It was some type of dessert that they had at one of the functions, and I was just like, hell yeah! Like
yeah,
because if you know your trip gonna be like, if you know you're prone to like, okay, like I usually drop at this time, so I'm gonna eat a little something right here and there. I'm gonna like, like I feel like those are the silver, like how you have silver linings in diabetes, you have silver pockets. and those pockets are filled with snacks and food. So
Yes.
these are the things that makes worth life living, and you get to be like, okay, I still get to enjoy this.
I,
So why not? You
I
know.
love, I'm basic. I love peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's my favorite go-to
Yes,
for love.
I I so right now I'm like changing up my eating to like help with not like with my weight loss journey, but really so like a lifestyle right now at this point that I'm like embarking upon. And uh peanut butter is always involved, and
Hmm.
not a snack. I'll just go for like the glucose tablet. And um I get judged and I really don't care because I enjoy it. So it is what it is. But I like to have like my glucose tablet with the peanut butter because you have to have like your sugar and your protein.
Uh-huh.
Tablets.
Yes.
So I like it's like I do like the fruit punch glucose tablet and the peanut butter, and I'm just like, oh my god, this it's heaven for me. So, but but if it's like an actual like snack or food,
Yes.
I'll do like the peanut butter crackers instead with the glucose tablet, or
Mm.
I'll just like um a couple of ounces of the Welch's grape juice because that's already like sugar down. But
Yeah.
my my vices for like when I just like when it's like okay I need like a mayday emergency like something to bring me back up in range.
Yes. Yes. Ariel is like clutching her pearls right now. She's like, oh,
Well,
No, it's
not
just
true.
good to hear confessions. I want to hear like what is your go-to? Like I just yeah. I mean some people is Oreos. I mean, I just was curious. I mean, you're kind of sophisticated with it. So I'm like, okay, awesome.
yeah. I do get fancy with my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches though. I'm gonna have to try
No,
it. I'm gonna have to try the glucose tablet and peanut butter. I'll report back to you. See what I feel
I
about it.
mean I'm not gonna recommend it. I'm just saying
It doesn't
because I
sound
know
that
so many
appetizing.
people are just like, what?
Yeah, they like what? Because I'm like, that's my first time I ever heard. Yeah, but
So just
it's very
with the peanut
clever.
and jelly sandwiches, yeah, with the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, just change the jelly. Like, so if you usually do grape, like, I don't know everybody's market, but just go down that jelly aisle and just look at a different type of fruit because they got apricot, they got blackberry, they got all kind of like different things, just so you can have fun with it. Because I mean, that's another thing with diabetes. You have to be innovative. Like when I was younger, I would get burnt out and tired of different snacks and different like food, and we would just have to switch it up. And you just changing that one little thing can make a whole nother like impact of like, wow, this is a different world. So
Uh, They, s- they say variety is the spice of life.
especially in a type one's life, honestly and truly, like
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, we can move
So
on after this, but with my sandwiches, you don't understand. I knock it out on it. I get like a good jelly, jam, and then I'll even put like fresh fruit on it, like blueberries and strawberries and pecans, and I look it up. I go in. It's not your grandma's peanut butter and jelly. It's
look, gourmet hypo treatment.
Come on, yes, you got to, you got to. I mean, the it's crazy because this hour flew by really fast, and we have so much we didn't get to. But that's okay because
Right.
this is not the last moment. We will be doing this every month, and it's the second Thursday of each month, and it always follows Ariel's support group, which is also available and accessible to everyone. Ariel, how can people who are tuned in join your support group as well?
So I know I'm on the board with Colic Harris, but I will always just send you. the Zoom connections. We always have different meeting codes. But
Hmm.
yeah, we always go in the Zoom way. But if you have
Okay,
people who are interested, just give them that information each month. I do have the
for sure.
grid of my schedule already outlined. So yeah, like I was telling my group, like invite other people, and they don't have to be with Oshner systems. So it's for everyone, you know. Um, so more the merrier. We have experts from Oshner that mainly speak. I may have a few other people outside of it, but um, it's great wealth of knowledge. Uses PowerPoint style, but
Mhm.
I love how we're doing this.
Yeah,
Interviewing people style is very fun.
yes, for sure. Well, like I said, every second Thursday, please join us. We will be here. May 8th, we is for
Mhm.
Mental Health Awareness Month. We'll be talking to OG. Ace has been living with type 1 for over 50 years. His name is Joe Slovich. Slovich.
Okay.
We're practicing that. It's Polish last name. Very difficult to say. So I hope I didn't
Gotcha.
butcher it. But May 8th, he's joining us. He is a trendsetter in terms of family therapy and diabetes.
That's
So
awesome.
if you are wanting to just talk about mental health and how to get back to a more positive space, please join us. Then on June 12th, Dr. Gabrielle Clark of Brand New Feet is going to be our special guest. And Dr. Clark is amazing. She has said her clinic is called Brand New Feet. It's located in New Orleans, but she specializes in physical therapy, medical pedicure. She's like out here doing God's work. Because I've seen some of the horrendous feet that she has restored, including mine. I'm talking about myself right now. And what she's able to do and is just so amazing. And you walk out of there just feeling better about yourself. And,
Oh,
the health is important because it's easy to get into complications and trouble when you don't take care of it.
absolutely.
So yeah, join us. She'll be here on June 12th. Out again. Well, Ariel, it's been fun.
Yes. Thanks for doing this as always. It's a pleasure. I think we covered just about, and Derek was amazing. And just probably have to have him come back.
Yes, yes. And congratulations to you again, nurse
Well,
practitioner
thank you.
of the that
Oh,
is
thank you
so
so much. Thank you so much.
and it just speaks to
And
like
thanks
your
for y'all
heart.
joining. Thanks for y'all joining. Share in social media of what Kyla Cares is doing, and have people subscribe and join, and add in Facebook and social media. As it's something to
All
follow because it's great.
all of that good stuff.
All of that.
Well, Ariel, I will see you back here next month.
Definitely, definitely. Can't believe next month is already May. So,
That's
all right. Well,
great.
y'all take care. Much love.
Do this. Can you
Mhm.
see my finger?
Bye. Bye. I can see.